Yeah, so we spent a lot of time yesterday looking at the tape. It was a disappointing loss. I felt the reason it was really disappointing is the players in the locker room, you could tell they left it all out there. They played with the energy and the passion and the toughness that it takes to win in this league. But we'll have to watch the tape and say, hey, look, the attention to detail is what's going to get us over the hump. If you leave your heart out there and you play that way, you're going to win a bunch of football games. But the attention to detail is what it takes to get you over that hump. And and you can look at 1,000 different plays from that game, the explosive plays, the turnovers in the red zone. But that's the attention to details. What we have to focus on, the little things it takes to win. The line is very, very small in the Southeastern Conference for winning and losing football games. And but if they continue to play that way, we will get over the hump. So, but pleased with the effort. I thought the O-line played their best game by far. They played very, very physical. Scotty ran really, really hard. I liked our red zone plan. We did a lot of things there. I thought Coach Longo did a nice job there. Defensively, stopped the run. I think we were right at 60 or 70 yards when they broke the big one. So they had done a nice job of stopping the run. They bowed their neck on the 4th and 1. So there are some things to pull from. It's just the explosive plays we have to eliminate if you want to win big games in the Southeastern Conference. Injuries, it was a very physical game from both sides of the ball with injuries, but there wasn't anything major for us. A lot of bumps and bruises. Tamu's foot is hurt. He'll be limited a little bit in practice, but he'll be fine to play. And then Braylon Sanders with his ankle, he'll also be limited. He'll probably be a game time decision. But other than that, nothing major. Moving on to A&M, been there a couple of times now. Very, very tough place to play from a crowd noise standpoint. We'll have to manage that. Very, very physical on defense. Very tough to run against. I believe they held Auburn to 19 yards rushing. But we'll have to find a way to get the run game going where it's not all on Jordan and the receivers. We've got to find a way to run the football. And then offensively, they're very, very balanced, do a nice job of mixing personnels, mixing the run and the pass. Their play actions are very, very good. Jimbo's always been really good at mixing those things up. They're really good at time of possession too, so keeping the ball away from our offense. So, again, very, very tough challenge on the road, but one that we're excited about and looking forward to the challenge.
Hey, Matt, can you comment about the relief of the recruiting sanctions? I don't think you've said anything about that yet.
No, yeah, it's a we had prepared this whole season for the bowl. We were realistic and realized, and we said, like we have 17 days left. That's the way we're preparing. But to get that victory on the recruiting is huge. Because as a head coach, you're looking at the big picture and moving forward and being able to recruit guys like Scotty Phillips and Matt Corral and all that moving forward. Now, you're not recruiting with one hand behind your back anymore. You can go out and recruit, and I think a lot of people see opportunities to come in and help us, and that really helps in recruiting. So that's a huge victory. And then just to put everything behind you, hey, it's over. All the recruiting restrictions are lifted. There are no more bowl bans. Let's move forward. Let's go attack this thing and see big picture. I think our fans were pleased with that, and I think even in the energy you felt in the stadium on Saturday was a result of that. Let's put all this behind us and let's move forward.
Matt, you touched on some of this a little bit after the game about players leaving it all on the field and whatnot. I know you hadn't been around them a lot since then, but what type of vibe did you get, and how do you feel this team responds after that kind of game?
You know what, I think, that's the way you're supposed to feel after a loss. It's supposed to hurt. When you go out there and you leave it on the field, it's supposed to hurt because this is a business that you're judged on winning and losing, and for us to go out there and win, the effort and the passion was there. Now it's the attention to detail that gets us over the hump, and I think those guys, they understand that. They're not happy about losing, and they're hurt. But if you want to win games in this league, the attention to detail has to be there. We can't give up explosive plays. We can't turn the ball over in the red zone. We got to do the little things it takes to win games in this league.
You guys more recently have had more success on the road in SEC games than at home. Is there a trend that you see there? Is there something you identify that makes this team look better on the road?
Not really. I think you go out there, each game is separate and you attack it that way, but we have had some success on the road, and I hope it continues this week.
Matt, you had a lineup with Elijah Moore at the slot. Obviously, you had a terrific day. You want to comment on that day and his future?
You know what? He's a terrific player, and he practices that way, and it showed up in the game. But to get him and AJ on the field at the same time, we felt like that would be a good matchup for us. I think it gave them some problems. I don't know if they were 100% expecting it with AJ being outside the whole time. It just provides different matchup problems for defenses. But with Elijah playing the way he did, and him being a true freshman, that gives us a lot of momentum moving forward for sure.
Matt, is attention to detail the cure-all for these explosive plays? Because it seemed to be a recurring theme, and I didn't know whether you feel like it's scheme or talent.
No, well, I mean, it's just on deep balls, and and the guy's right there. You got to make a play. And, you got to make the tackle. You got to do the little things, and some of it is technique. It's not all on the players, but some of it is technique that occurs. But it's attention to detail, and I thought. I think as a coach, you have to make sure that they're giving everything they got, and they're playing and doing everything that they can and leaving it all on the field. That's number one. And then number two is the attention to detail and the little things it takes, because you may be able to get away with some of that against an average team. But in this league, you can't do that. You have to have the attention to detail that it takes. And again, that's our job as coaches to get that done.
Coach, when you see on film, what stands out to you the most about the quarterback Kellen Mond and the running back Travion Williams?
The ability, you have to account for Kellen in the run game. He has the feet. He can hurt you when he pulls it. They have some design quarterback runs, and he can hurt you. So you have to account for him in the run game, and then obviously they're just very explosive in the run game. And I think that's what we'll have to start. We have to game plan to stop the run, and then make them beat us throwing the football.
With Jordan dealing with the foot, how do you plan on handling Matt this week? I know he's at that 3-game number, and 4 is obviously the big number this year, but what's the plan with Matt going forward?
Yeah, no, if we'll need him, Matt's the guy. And so but again, I think Jordan's going to be fine. We'll limit him some this week, just to get him healthy. But it's not an injury that we think is going to keep him out of the game.
Coach, with the dangerous return guy that you faced this past week, what was the decision to go to that squib kick after getting up 10 and just not kicking it through the end zone?
Yeah, well, if you knew you could kick it through the end zone every time, you would do that, obviously. But we were trying to limit his touches, so obviously kicking it to the up backs, kicking it to the big offensive lineman that was in there. I thought the plan was good. We just got to tackle. I mean, looking at it, those are 2 big plays in the game: the kickoff return and the one when we went up 10. Those are 2 huge plays in the game. But the scheme was sound. I thought that we did an outstanding job of preparing, but we do got to go down there and make the tackle. I mean, the returns were a result of missed tackles, not the scheme or the kick, if that makes sense.
Matt, what were they doing later in the game to get more pressure? All 3 of their sacks came in the fourth quarter. What did y'all see there?
Well, again, it wasn't anything different. There one, AJ slipped and fell down, and he scrambled out of the pocket, and covered sacks, things that they were doing. But the result was us not being productive on first down and being in 3rd and longs. That was the biggest thing. And then Jordan obviously not being 100% probably played a little factor into it. But again, not being productive on first down was huge. And then and the last drive, you're in a 2-minute drive to go win the game. You got to figure out a way to go get that done. And I think everybody on our sideline, everybody in the stadium felt like we were going to take that ball and go down and score. And I think that's the way our offense felt. That's the way I felt. And they had a lot of confidence. You could see it in their eyes. No different than the Arkansas game or last year at Kentucky. They had the same look, and it didn't happen. It wasn't our day. They made the plays to win it. We didn't.